Welcome back to the Grapple Theory podcast. I'm joined today by a very special guest. He's had quite the year, to say the least, but we're going to get into all of that, and you'll want to stick around to see why. Welcome to the show, Leon Slater. Leon, thanks so much for coming on. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm good, man. No complaints. Life is blessed. I'm glad to be here, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. We said just before recording, we spoke October last year, and you'd had a phenomenal year then. I'm not sure. Did you think this year was going to top it in the way that it has, like quite so much?
I always try and be optimistic with these things and be hopeful, but I don't think I ever could have seen like all the stuff that's happened this year, like pan out how it has. So it's been a crazy year to say the least, man.
Yeah, for sure. What did we got? A GCW debut, New Japan debut, wrestled at the Copper Box twice, and then TNA debut, and then TNA contract.
Yes, it's crazy, bro. And like, I've been blessed to work with kind of the big four companies this year, whether it's Extra Work or wrestling.
Of course, yes, you were on All In and at WWE as well. Fuck, forgot about that.
I got to do the SmackDown. I got to do the SmackDown in June. Sorry, I also got to do All In as a part of Extra Work there, and obviously my work with New Japan and Impact has come in October. So I don't even know if anyone else has done that. I'd be interested.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine anyone else has done that. Like maybe someone who like is signed, you know what I mean? Like signed but can work the indies might have done that. But like I can't imagine an indie star has done that in 1 year. That's mad.
For real.
And genuinely sad for you. I remember, I totally forgot about All In, but I remember at All In, I was with some mates who, like for various reasons, have like not really returned too much to the indie scene since like COVID and speaking out and stuff. So we were at All In. And I missed that bit of the pre-show. So, like, my mate took a photo. And he was like, do you recognize any of these guys? And I was like, oh, shit, that's Ogu and Leon and Doris. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it was mind-blowing, man. That's such a cool moment for you. And, like, again, so much going on. Like, have you had time to, like, process it all? Like, has it been a bit of a blur?
Yeah, it always is a blur, man. And, like, I've always said, like, because stuff moves so fast for me, like I rarely get a chance to reflect, but when I do reflect, it hits me real hard. You know what I mean? Like I'll just be one night I'll be fucking tossing and turning or whatever, and it'll just hit me like, "Rah, I've worked for WWE, Impact, TNA, New Japan, AEW, all in 1 year, bro. It's so crazy." And I have to take time out because of how fast stuff moves to like make sure I'm being grateful and trying to live in the moment and be thankful for all these opportunities that I'm getting, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's important, isn't it? Sort of take that step back and like see how far you've come and really appreciate it.
For real. Yeah, it's a real like I said, it's something I have to put focus on, or it just moves past me, you know? Like stuff moves so fast, man. It's I think it's really important to do that though.
For sure, absolutely. I remember last year when we spoke, you told me this story about like how you told your mum about your Progress debut and like how like psyched she was for that. Like, what has the reaction been to all of this news that's come like the whole year, but also specifically like the last month or so?
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. I remember when I told her about like the Impact tour and stuff. She like burst into tears and everything, man. It was so crazy. It was like the Progress news, but like times 100, bro. It was so crazy. And obviously with like I said, like wrestling for New Japan as well, that was a big thing. She knows that was a big goal for me too. So again, like she's the best. I couldn't do it without her. And for her to like be so close and for me to be able to bring her along this ride, it's something I'm super grateful for.
No, I love that. That's just super heartwarming. I love that so much. That's brilliant. That's amazing. And big up your mum as well, like for being that supportive. Love that. Love that. Good shout out. I think we'll start with the stuff that anyone who's tuning into this will want to see. The main stuff, the TNA stuff. I mean, like, talk to me about the tour first of all. Like, when did you know, like before the announcement, how long before the announcement did you know you were going to be on that tour?
So I actually found out a few weeks before, like in the kind of late summertime, I found out that they were wanting me for a few dates. But it was crazy because it was originally Josh Alexander that messaged me and reached out to me before the tour began. And he was like, he messaged me at first like, "Hey man, Impact would like you for 2 dates." And I was like, "Oh my God, let's go. Holy hell, let's fucking go." And then a couple of weeks later, he was like, "Hey man, they want you to the third one." And I was like, "Oh my God." And then obviously they sold out Coventry the first night. So they ran the Coventry the second night too. And he's like, "Hey man, they want you for all 4." And I was like, "Oh my God." So like, even before the tour started, I kind of had a little inkling like, oh, they seem to really like me before I've even wrestled for them. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it was all through Josh and stuff, and I found out in the summer.
That's even madder, right? That it's Josh Alexander. Like Josh Alexander, in my mind at least, for the last like at least 2 years, has been like Mr. Impact, Mr. TNA.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
for
for
him to
sure.
be messaging you, being like, "Hey man, like they want you to come in," like that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's because I actually met Josh earlier this year at Soft Pro. So shout out to Soft Pro, man. He was there in Manchester in February, I think. And he saw me wrestle Endakara, which is one of my favorite matches of the year. And obviously he was quite impressed. So we just kept in contact through then, you know, and I've been obviously blessed enough to be in close enough contact with him so he can reach out for stuff like that.
I was going to say, clearly you impressed him enough. That was a great match you had with Ender. That was amazing. That was brilliant. And like, I love as well, just personally, as like, you know, a huge indie fan, in the fact that like you say like that's one of your favorite matches of the year, when like you look at the matches you've had this year, and I love that like you can say like a Soft Pro match is one of those like up there with your favorites. Like that's really cool.
And like, bro, for real too, like my 2 matches I've had at Soft Pro this year have been 2 of my favorite matches. Obviously the Ender one and the 4-way I had, it was me, Ninja Mac, Darius and Leighton Buzzard, bro. We went crazy in that. That's one of my favorite ones too. The crowd was wild, man. It was so sick.
Yeah. It seems like, well, I mean, I was going to say it seems like they love you there, but it seems like they love you everywhere. Like you have hit the crowd hard. Like the crowd go wild for you, man. Like that must be such a cool feeling. Like just everywhere you go, that people are so buzzed to see you.
Yes, and the coolest thing is, you know, like I always remember, obviously, like kind of last year, people would react to my moves. Like they would react to the corner dive, the pop for the Swanton 450 and stuff. But now, like my music will drop and my name will come up on the screen, and everyone's like, "Yes!" And I find that so crazy, bro. It's so cool to me.
It's because we know what we're expecting now. We know what Leon brings, and it's like you know you're gonna get a good match, man, out of you. Like you always deliver. You always deliver. And like taking it back to Impact, then. So you're on the tour, you start off, and then. Yeah, what happens that night you get signed? Like, talk to me about that. Like, I assume, did you know that was going to happen then when it happened? Or were you sort of in the dark until it happened?
I was in the dark, bro. I was in the dark until Scott came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's happening! Holy hell!"
Did you not know? Because like that's the thing I always wonder is like, because obviously like you and Frank stayed in the ring for like a little bit afterwards, and like you sort of get the sense when that happens that something's happening. But like you didn't know that Scott was coming out or anything, like anything was planned for that.
No. I had no clue, bro, because I wrestled Frankie on the Thursday in Glasgow too. And he kind of did the same thing at the end of that match too, where he was like calling me in the ring to shake my hand and stuff, which is super cool of Frankie. Frankie Kazarian is the fucking man. I can't say enough nice words about Frankie. So I just thought we were kind of running that whole spiel back on the Saturday. And then he shook my hand and Scott's music hit, and he came on the Tron, and I was like, oh, okay, because Alex Shelley unfortunately got injured on the Thursday, and Frankie was having to fill in on the Saturday as a part of the Morty City Machine Gun. So I thought he was just coming out to announce that. And then when he came out with a piece of paper in his hand, I was like, rah! And then it happened, bro. And it's the craziest moment of my life. And since it happened, bro, I remember like for 2 days straight, my phone was bzz, 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 bzz. The shit didn't stop buzzing, bro. So definitely a highlight of my career.
Yeah, I know when I was planning on messaging you, I was like, I'll give it a couple of days. I was like, I know what the phone buzz is going to be like. I'll give it a couple of days because it's going to be wild. But like, it's weird you mentioned that in terms of like what's going through your mind. Because like, again, obviously when he announces it, you can see you're buzzed and like the crowd is so buzzed for you. But like, for what's happening, I feel like externally you played it pretty cool. Whereas internally, I imagine it was a bit of a freak out.
Yes, I was losing my mind, bro, because obviously that's like to sign a contract to wrestle full time has obviously been my dream since I could remember, bro. And like to have it with such a special place like TNA is so special to me, bro, because we didn't have Sky Sports. I couldn't watch Raw and SmackDown every week, you know. I'd catch Superstars on a Saturday, but TNA was my fucking show, bro. So to be officially a TNA superstar, TNA wrestler, it's honestly a dream come true.
I mean, you say it there. Does it still feel real when you say it? Like you saying it yourself, does it still feel real?
No, I don't think it ever will feel real. I think until the first time I step in like a TNA ring in the States with a TNA wrestler, I don't think it'll ever feel real.
I was gonna say, I'm sure maybe you can't announce it. I know you're plugging like the January show loads. But like, is that when you're going to be over? Like, I appreciate if you can't announce like debut and stuff, but do you know when that debut is set for yourself?
So I can't actually announce the debut yet, but it will be sometime starting in January. So from January on, I'm officially a TNA wrestler, and I'll be on the TV, on the pay-per-views and stuff like that. But I can't announce the date just yet.
No, sure, I appreciate that, but that's mad. Like counting down the days, I imagine.
Yes, 100%, bro. 100%. I'm so buzzing.
Mate, especially Christmas coming up, right? Big early Christmas present. Big.
Yes. Christmas came super early, bro. 3 months in advance.
Love it, love it. And I imagine, like, I mean, I'm sure people have asked you and all that stuff. And again, a fair play if you can't say or if you don't want to say. But like, in terms of both like your wrestling situation and your living situation, like, are you still going to be based here? Like, will you still be able to do like indie shows in and about the place, or like, what is the situation there? Do you know?
Yeah, so TNA is super cool, bro. Like, I'm still allowed to do indies, so you'll still see me at North, you'll still see me at Rev Pro, you know what I mean? You'll still see me at South Pro. But yeah, man, I'm still cool. I'm still in the UK. I ain't moving. I ain't going nowhere soon. Don't worry about it. I'm still gonna be here. And obviously that's the dream for real, to be able to live here, you know, be with my family, be with my friends, and get to live my dream full time in the States. It's a beautiful life, as LJ Cleary would say.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And obviously, given like the last year as well, you've already had that US experience as well with the crowds and all that GCW and stuff like that. That's fantastic as well.
Yes. And another person I got to shout is Brett, man. I mean, I don't think I would be where I am if Brett didn't pick me up from that UK show back in last September. You know, if I hadn't been over to the States 3 times since then, I don't think my name would be on the kind of radar on the level that it's on right now. So shout out to Brett in the GCW locker room, man.
I was going to say, like, so again, obviously it's like different watching it on TV, and saw a few of your matches out in GCW, like when you're in the States especially. But like, what was the crowd like for that? Because again, you get a feeling from watching it stream, but it's nothing compared to live. And like, I imagine it was buzzing that everyone took to you like they have here, because I know like a few people in America who are like, oh no, we're keeping Leon now. Like, he's ours. Like, like you guys don't get him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, GCW is a whole like different beast, bro. Like, I remember when they came over for the first time, like the first time I met all the guys and stuff, last September. They run the same venue as TNT, and TNT draws well, man. Like TNT packs the Hangar 34 out, but GCW came over, and I couldn't compute how many people they put in that room. So ever since then, I knew it was something special, you know. And since then, obviously, I've been blessed enough to go over there 3 times now and work with those guys. And the crowd in the States is even crazier, bro. Like, everyone's just up for a good time. Everyone's rowdy as fuck. And just they're there to watch the best professional wrestling in the world, which GCW brings, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it does. It absolutely does. And that's super cool as well. And like, again, almost linked to like the Impact tour. But obviously one of those shows was at the Walker Dome in Newcastle. But I imagine that's probably not the moment you automatically think of when you think Walker Dome, right? Because,
yeah.
I mean, early in the year, winning the North title at the Walker Dome against Liam Slater, like, that's huge, right? That's got to be one of your top moments of the year.
Yes, 100%, bro. I think we were talking about favorite matches earlier. I think that's my favorite match I've ever had. And I mean, I think we spoke last time about how I've never cried in the ring apart from after Speedball. That was the second time, bro. A few tears were shed in the ring afterwards. I mean, it was I can't even put into words how special that was to me, because I wouldn't be the person I am. I wouldn't be the wrestler I am. I wouldn't be close to where I am without Liam Slater. So shout out to him, man. I love him for life. And he's changed my life. He really has. So to be in the main event of North's ever biggest show, the company that arguably changed my life, you know, the first company to really put me in a big spotlight for real, for the North Championship in North's biggest ever show. Like, I can't even describe, number one, how special it was to even be put in that position and have Bowers trust that I'm the person to take the belt from Liam, who had a historic reign at North. It was a blessed feeling, man. And like, I've watched that match back so many times. Like, I watch that match at least once a week, bro. Yeah, and I don't have a bad word to say about that night, man. Honestly, one of the best nights of my life. Like, not even my career, bro. Like, of my life, full stop. My whole 19 years on this earth. July 15th at the Walker Dome is one of the best days I've ever had.
Mate, I love that. And I don't know if we mentioned this the last time we chatted, because I know we spoke about Pursuit and I know we spoke about Liam. But when we had Liam on the podcast, like ages and ages ago, he was the one that, first of all, like, I was like, oh, like, who are the guys that train at Pursuit that you need to look out for? And he was like, right, you need to look out for Leon Slater, because this kid's gonna be a star. Like, he's gonna be signed within like a few years, guaranteed. And he got it spot on. Like, he called it.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, right, well, if Liam says it, then you know. And like again, just for like all that you two like have been through in terms of like him bringing you through and like giving you that mentorship. I imagine that made it like extra special to be for it to be him that you won the title off of.
100%, 100%. It wouldn't even hit close to the same if it wasn't Liam, you know?
Yeah. Has he said anything to you like over like I'm sure you've spoken over like the last few months and stuff, but like what has he said to you?
Honestly, like he always makes sure to tell me how proud of me he is, you know what I mean? Which I think is super special. But at the same time, he keeps me humble, man. No one takes the piss out of me as much as he does, bro. When I'm at training, I can't do nothing right. Every roll is wrong. Every bump is wrong. You know what I mean? He loves to keep me humble. But yeah, I got a lot of love for him, man. And I feel like he has the same for me.
Yeah, he's got to keep you level-headed. Which I'm sure you do anyway, but it's always nice. And you mentioned North. Obviously, last time you were on, we spoke about obviously tagging with Doris there. I think you were champs at the time. You were tag champs at the time, which again just shows how much has changed in the last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen, because it's only been announced tonight. Have you seen the PWI 100 top 100 tag teams list?
Yes, we made it, right?
Yeah, like 89. Yeah, you and Doris.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's so cool.
There you go. That's epic. I mean, like, you've had a great year tagging as well, and like, I mean, that you spoke last time about that and how much fun that was. But like, it's got to be cool to, again, like Doris had a fantastic year as well. It's got to be cool to have both of you had this like awesome progression in your career this year.
Yes, bro. It's been so cool, and I feel like this year we've become an actual tag team. You know what I mean? Like we spoke October last year, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like even by then we were a tag team, but we were a tag team. You know what I mean? Like we kind of I think we still had the separate gear at that point. Even we didn't really like, we gelled, but we didn't have like the chemistry like we do now. You know what I mean? Because we had the reps this year, man. Again, we've been blessed enough to work with each other a lot more in singles and in tags this year. And Doris is someone I look up to massively, you know. I feel like he's my big brother in this wrestling thing. So, and again, to see his progression this year, he's just come back from the States with GCW as well, to see him progress further and further like he has, carrying all the belts that he possibly can in the UK. Yeah, it's a great thing to see, man, and I'm extremely thankful that out of everyone in this country, he is my tag team partner.
Yeah, absolutely. No, big up Doris. Love Doris. He's had a great year. And talk to me then about, again, like we mentioned before, you're coming up to Christmas. Obviously, it sounds like you're going to have a busy January, but like you've got a pretty busy rest of the year before Christmas as well. Do you get like, have you given yourself like over Christmas a little bit of time off and stuff like that to rest a bit?
Yes, bro. So like after the Crystal Palace show for Rev Pro, me and Connor Mills, I'm gonna be sitting at home with the cruiserweight belt, chilling out until it's time to go TNA. You know, that's my last one of the year.
Lovely. I was gonna say you've had your eye on that belt for a while, right?
Yeah, since I started, bro. My first match in Rev Pro was for the cruiserweight belt. So ever since then, it's been a massive goal for me. Yeah,
and someone like Connor as well. Like you just know it's gonna be a brutal match. Like Connor's had a great year in Rev Pro, and like he's someone that like has really dug into that like fierce side of him, which you can see in his wrestling. Like that's, you know, it's going to be a great match. You must be looking forward to it.
Yes, bro. I mean, like Mills is someone I've wanted to wrestle for ages, and like I think he's a twat, but we'll have a banger. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I thought we would have wrestled by now, but this is the first time we're going to be wrestling. You know, the only time I've wrestled him up until now was at Modern Nomad in the bread shed, and he was Shaggy, and like us too was Scooby, and I was dressed up as a mummy. So that's the only time me and Mills have ever interacted, you know. So I'm excited to see what December 16th brings, man.
Yeah, I remember that. Nomad love it. They love just like a weird, wacky show, and that's got to be again like for someone who like, it sounds weird, but like for someone who does what you do and flies so high every match and always puts on these bangers, it must be nice to sort of like have that little change of pace every now and then where you can do something like weird and funny and like just sort of let loose a little bit.
For sure, man. For sure. My favorite part, I always say my favorite part of the Nomad shows is after my match is done, I can watch the rest of the show and just have a good time, you know?
Yeah, it's always fun. You never know what they're going to come up with next as well. That's like the best thing is like, you just like, what have they got planned?
Yeah, it's true.
No, love it. I meant we moved on from North a little too fast because obviously you've had some banging title defenses. But obviously, I mean, they just dropped the hype package last night for it. You're facing Rio, September the 9th. Yeah. That's going to be wild. Yes. North have done some great hype packages this year, but that might have been one of my favorites.
Yeah, and shout out to Alex, man. Shout out to Alex, shout out to Fraser, shout out the whole production team at North, because honestly, I feel like up north in Newcastle, we have the best production in the country. Nobody's putting out hype packages like that. You know what I mean? So shout out to Alex and the team, man.
Yeah.
And as far as Rio goes, man, I'm excited. Again, someone I've never had the chance to step in the ring with. And I asked Bowers for the best, you know, and apparently Rio is the best. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how far she can push me, because so far, I've been pushed, man. Tiana gave me a good challenge. Obviously, Lycos 2 pushed me to 2 out of 3 falls. He gave me a wicked challenge. So I'm excited to see what Rio can bring, man. See if she's on my level.
Yeah, you got to end the year on a high, right? Obviously that and Crystal Palace as well. You got 2 banging matches, and hopefully, like, by Christmas time, it'll be double gold. You'll kept one, won the other.
Yes, exactly, bro. That's the goal.
Nice. I always ask everyone coming up to Christmas. We do a little like Christmas feature that we put out just before. So I always ask people like for their most memorable Christmas moment. And like it can be like happy or sad or weird or funny, like whatever emotion it wants to be. But like, is there a tangible moment for you when Christmas comes around that's like your go-to memory?
Yes, bro. So I remember it's pretty relevant too, because GTA 6 trailer just got announced. I remember, bro, when GTA 5 came out 2013, I was in like year 3. So I was like 8, 9 years old. I should not have been playing the GTA games. And like I asked my mum for it for my birthday, because it came out around my birthday, right? So I asked my mum for it, and that was the first time she was like, nah, you ain't having this. Like, straight up, she just told me no. Like, usually it's like, usually when I asked for something as a kid, it was like, maybe not this one, but we can get you this one instead. But straight up, she was like, no, you are not having this disgusting game.
Yeah, she knew.
Cars, you are not having this game, dog. So for years, man, ever since it came out, I would beg my mom for GTA 5. Every Christmas, Easter, fucking birthday, even Valentine's Day, bro, I would ask GTA 5, Mom, please, GTA 5, GTA 5, GTA 5. And I remember, I think it was 2017 on Christmas, I'd again put it on the list, expecting the same disappointment as always, you know what I mean? So I put out the stock in. I saw this game box sized package. I was like, nah, no way. I opened it up. I see Trevor on the front cover. I'm like, oh my God, yo, GTA 5, doing laps around the living room and everything, man. So that's one of my favorite Christmas memories for sure, bro.
Mate, that's better than any title win.
Yes, 100%.
I love that. That's the moment she was like, "Oh, you're an adult now. I'll let you. I'll let you."
Yeah, man.
That's brilliant. I love that. Also, I sort of don't, because you just made me feel so old in that saying that. Like in 2013, I was like a year out of like college. I was like working in 20. Like that was like my first year in like the working world. So like you just made me feel super old now. I'm like, fuck it hell. That means I've been working for 10 years. That's bad. That's made me feel really old. I don't like that. But I appreciate it. That's cool. I love the memory. And that brings us on to like a nice little fun feature that I don't think we played last time. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is called Dishing the Dirt. And I'm gonna, as North champion, I think it's only fair. We said some lovely stuff about North, but we're now gonna dish a little dirt on your North locker room mates. And it's not, none of it's too bad, I promise. None of it is too bad at all. I call it dishing the dirt, but it's actually quite nice. It's basically praising people. So I'm going to give you some questions, and you let me know which member of the North locker room you think it most like associates to.
Oh, okay. This is cool. Yeah, I like this.
So the first one is who takes the longest to get ready, either like pre-match or post-show, like leaving.
Oh, okay. So I got 2 different answers here, because getting ready would probably have to be one of the girls. I'm gonna say Natalie Sykes. She has like pretty complex makeup. She got the hair extensions. She got the fancy gear. She got to put on and stuff.
Yeah, she goes all out.
I'm gonna probably say Nat takes the longest to get ready, and then the longest to leave up until Walker Dome. It was Liam, because he would always be in the main event. Then he'd have to do these promos afterwards. Then he'd have to get changed. Then he'd have to go speak to Bowers. Then we'd finally be leaving. But longest to leave now is probably me, because I got all that responsibility now.
How are you finding that? How are you liking that?
It's cool, man. I love being in the main event. I really do, but I hate waiting. Like, once I got my gear on, like once I'm focused on the match, like, I'm ready to go, man. I hate the waiting, but I love being in the main event. So it's a sacrifice you gotta make, right?
I was gonna say, like, how long before you go on are you like in your gear ready to go?
I'm usually in my gear by like the 2nd or 3rd match.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got like And then I start my routine, like my kind of warm up, get ready routine, like probably 3 matches before. But I'm in gear pretty much the whole show.
Nice. What is your warm up? What do you go with? I know I've gone on a tangent from these questions,
It's
but
cool.
I'm just curious now.
Yeah. So my current routine is 3 matches before. This is if I'm the main event, or like if there is 3 matches before. If there's no matches before and I'm on first, I'll go 40 minutes.
Nice.
But 3 matches before, I start eating a bag of Skittles. I can't wrestle without Skittles.
I remember you said that last time. You said that was your weak spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I start munching on my bag of Skittles. I put my first layer of coconut oil on and some coconut lotion too, so you smell good and you look shiny. Because tagging with the Reese, he always comes out looking like, I don't know, bro, like some metallic guy. So I was always looking dry.
I was going to say, you think he's shiny with the jacket? The jacket's shiny, and he takes it off and he's shinier, and you're like, how is that possible?
Shiny without the jacket, bro. Yeah. So 3 matches before, I'll put my first layer of oil. 2 matches before, I'll put another little bit of layer on, another layer of oil on. I'll go over the match or whatever, focus up on the match. 1 match before, I'll do some dynamic stretching. I'll start to get warmed up, and then as the people that are on before me, as their music hits to come back, I'll say a little prayer. I have this little routine where I'm jumping up and down and shit, getting myself hyped up. I cut a little promo on my opponent before I go out, and then boom, out to the ring.
Nice, love that. Good routine. I like it. Back on these questions. The next one is and this is one of like 2 that I say is like the only thing that I'd consider actual like dirt or anything, but it's all like it's all subjective in these instances. But who do you think in the locker room has the worst music taste?
Oh, jeez.
Does anyone put anything on that you're just like, nah?
You know what? North has a wig. Am I being too nice? You know what? I don't even know them boys like that to know their music taste, but I would assume that Landed Gentry have kind of not my type of music taste. So I'm gonna say Landed Gentry, Benji and Gio.
Yeah, I bet that's nobody's music taste, the stuff they like.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna listen to something weird that you never heard of. That you're like, oh, yeah. They're put on. You're like, no, turn it off straight away.
Yeah, that Tory music, bro. I don't fuck with the Tory music, bro.
That's got to be like a genre. That's going to be a genre soon enough. It's just going to be like
I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Mate, no, thank you. The next one is who's the comedian in the locker room? Who can you always count on to make you laugh the most?
Will Cruz, 100%.
Yeah?
Will Cruz is one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met in my whole life, bro. Even just thinking about him. Like, Will Cruz, bro, is one of them guys, yeah. You don't even have to say nothing funny. He just exists. He's just there, and you just bust out a chuckle, you know what I mean? So 100% Will Cruz, man.
Love that. Big up Will. He's had a great year as well. Yeah, what a guy. The next one is, you bring your Skittles, obviously. The next question is who brings, like, the best food? Does anyone else bring, like a pre-show snack or anything that you look at and you're like, oh, that looks pretty good?
You know what, man? Like, at North, we're blessed, you know? Like, I've been saying that a lot, but we truly are blessed at North, yeah? Because we have, shout out to 2J's Pizza, man.
Yes.
We have the oven-baked pizza truck outside the venue, so if you want a little snack, you can go and get the 2J's. And also shout out to Coop Chicken House, which supplies us like whole meals backstage, bro. Like we got like chicken and rice. Sometimes, bro, be bringing like chicken wraps and stuff. So like nobody really has to bring their own food at North because we get like taken care so well.
I love that. Yeah, I've heard good things about 2J's and about Coop as well. Like everyone's like that's like the best like wrestling food basically. Like you go to a show, you're like, oh hell yeah, like you're looking forward to that afterwards.
Yes, 100%, bro, 100%.
Love it. The next one's the only other one that I think is like a dirt question. But we're not talking in the ring now. We're talking out the ring. Who has the worst dress sense?
Oh, this is evil, man. The worst dress sense, you know. That's tough. Who do I look at and think, what the fuck are you wearing? Bruh.
I feel like we've had a couple of people from North, and I can't remember who they said, but they've definitely answered it. They've definitely said someone. I can't remember.
Oh, who. For real?
Yeah.
Is there like a definitive answer?
Yeah, no, maybe not the same person, but like they've definitely been an answer. But again, it's all subjective, right? It's almost like who has the opposite taste to you, I guess, something like that.
It is, yes. Who dresses the opposite to me? Damn, bro. Damn, this is tough. Right, let me scan across the locker room. Okay, like us boys be pulling up. You know what? Gene Money be coming out with some wild outfits. But like, it's not even like a bad. It's not even bad drip. It's just Gene Money style. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
maybe Gene, but the rest of the Lycos boys are fresh. Lycos 1's fresh. Lycos 2's fresh. Darius he doesn't dress bad, but like he just comes in any wrestling merch that he can find in his closet. You know what I mean? So Darius ain't too bad. Jack Bandicoot is the best dresser in the North locker room.
Is he?
Yes, Jack Bandicoot dresses so well, bro. So impeccably well.
What are we talking? I'm curious about this now because like love Jack, he's fantastic in the ring. Obviously, I don't see him much in like out of his wrestling gear, but like I would never peg him as like the best dressed. So it intrigues me that you say that.
100. Ask anyone that's been in a locker room with Bandit. They will tell you he's the best dressed person everywhere he goes.
Mad.
Yeah,
that's awesome. No, Gene is also. I think Gene was one of the ones that was mentioned as like maybe worse. Okay. But again, like you say, you say, it's like it's not bad. It's just like it's the style that only Gene Money could pay off.
Yes, if I wore the same thing, I would get mocked and laughed at. But it's Gene Money, so it kind of works.
Yeah. No, it's Gene style. It's his own like signature brand. Yeah. I get it. Well, the next one is sort of like leading on from that because we're talking about wrestling gear now, and don't worry about like sizing and stuff because we're in a hypothetical one-size-fits-all scenario. You've forgotten your gear for a show, and because you tag with Darius sometimes, I'm going to say you can't say Darius because it can be a bit similar sometimes. So you can't say Darius. You got to say someone else.
Yeah.
But you've forgotten your gear for a show. We're one-size-fits-all, and you've got to pick someone else's gear to wear for the show. Whose do you look at and you're like, I could pull that off. Like I'd look good in that.
Damn. You know what, man? The Bad Boy Gym Gang little sunflower jumpsuits. I think I could pull that. I think I could pull that off pretty well, man. I think I could pull that off. Yeah,
that's a good style, isn't it? That's like again, it's sort of like it's a weird mix in it of like of money and like cars.
Yes. I think I could make it work though. I think I can make it work. So I'm gonna say that.
I can see you in that. I think that'll work well. I think it will work well. The next one is again we're back to like hypotheticals because everyone in the North locker room is having a party on the same night. They've all invited you, but you can of course only go to one of them. Whose party is going to be the one you go to? Who's going to throw the best party? The party you need to be at.
Is Darius also excluded from this one?
Oh, you would probably say Darius. I feel like Darius would pose a good party.
Yes, I would say Darius if he's not excluded.
Let's say Darius for now, but what do you think would be so good about his? What do you think he'd bring to it? I mean, like
he just has good. He has a very, very, very good music taste. Like he's got a lot of variety in his playlist. And he's just a good time, man. He's a wicked guy. I love him. So
he'd be on the mic as well, like just absolutely slaying whole night.
Yes, exactly. But he would be spitting his own bars on the party, bro. This should be wicked.
No, again, I like it, but I might say it's Susan. Just to put you under a bit of pressure. Who would you say if it wasn't Darius? I will accept Darius as your answer, but I'm just curious who you'd say secondary.
Session Moth Martina. I bet she'd throw a sick party.
That's going to be a rager, right? You know that's going to be good. Yeah.
Exactly,
again, like very like dance orientated, getting the music going, the lights and all that.
Exactly, yeah. Martina would be getting it lit. So I would go to her party if not Darius.
Nice. I can see that. I like it. And the final one is always my like actually no, there's two left. The next one I always say is like counterproductive to ask a wrestling locker room, but like who's the most competitive?
I would say myself, honestly, man. Honestly, I would say myself.
Are we talking just in the ring or out the ring as well?
I think out the ring too. Or maybe out the ring, Liam gets like viciously competitive. I remember, bro, one time we were playing like, we were playing Mario Kart and he took it so serious. Like he was so close to losing. And when he won, bro, I've never seen that man happier in my life. So I would probably say me or Liam is the most competitive because I take shit personally, bro.
Mario Kart brings that out of you. Mario Kart will bring that out of a person. Like,
it's true.
I feel like that's when you know someone's like true identity. You know what I mean? Like you think you know them, and then you play them at Mario Kart, and then you really know.
100%.
No, I love it, and that does bring us on to the last one. And again, I'm gonna have to exclude Darius. You tag with him too much. You're too close. You're too tight, so it makes it unfair. But who would you choose apart from Darius to be your partner in the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I always say like you can use
Coyle.
Oh, yeah, Rory.
Coyle. Because I feel like he has such a good knowledge on like horror movies and stuff that he would already know like the ins and outs of zombie lore and like know like where the weakness is, where the best weapons are at. And he's a cool dude, man. Yeah. So I'll pick Rory.
You're like, shit, Rory, what do we do? He's like, it's fine, mate. I've been through this scenario 20 times in my head. I know exactly where we're going.
Exactly.
I think someone else said Rory as well. He's just a vicious bastard as well, isn't he? Just that if shit went down, he'd be there, like absolutely slaying.
100%.
Love it. That brings us nicely to the end of that feature and like almost to the end of the pod. But I always ask people sort of generally about what their 2024 has in store and what would be a good year for them. Obviously, it's tougher for you now because I'm sure it's going to be a bit more of a blur like this year was. So I'm going to sort of switch it up a bit. And again, we mentioned earlier, you just made me feel insanely old. But if I were to take you back to that first day of training, Leon Slater, and said to him, by the age of 19, this is where you're going to be. What do you think that Leon Slater would have said?
I think he would have believed you, man. I don't think he would have thought that you were lying or telling him a joke or whatever. I think he would have believed you, man. Honestly.
Yeah, really. That's mad. That's like, I mean, I know you have confidence. You see it in yourself that you have confidence, but that's like next levels confidence.
Yeah, bro. Because like, there's never been a moment in my life where I haven't pictured wrestling being my life, if that makes sense. Like ever since I was little, when people ask me what I'm going to do, is I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm not going to try and be a wrestler. I'm going to be a wrestler. There's never been a backup plan. I've never had a plan B. I've always put everything I have into this, you know, like as when I was in secondary school, I didn't go to the house parties, bro. I was at training on the weekend. I was at shows on the weekend. I was setting up rings, bro. Like I've worked so hard for this. So honestly, I think little Leon would have believed you, honestly.
I love that. And like similarly in talking of like sort of rising through those ranks. And again, I don't want to embarrass you here, but like, so I obviously like sort of, you first came to my mind when you broke out at Everything Patterned. And then from there, it seems to have just been this like rocket ship for you ascending. And obviously you're on Everything Patterned. And then when we spoke, obviously you just had your Progress debut and you were rising the ranks then. And I remember late 2022, early 2023, like saying to literally every wrestling fan I knew, this guy's going to be signed in like 2 or 3 years because he's phenomenal. Like you got to go and watch him. And I just wonder from your perspective, was there a moment in your mind where like everything clicked and you were like, I'm doing something, like something's happening here?
Oh man, it's very hard to put a pinpoint on, you know, because like I said, so much stuff has happened so fast. There's not really like one match or one time that I could really think. But I guess if I was gonna put it down to a certain time period, it would be when I started, when Dan and Doris started taking me under their wing, because they're people that I'd looked up to. Obviously, when I wasn't going up and down the country every weekend, they were, and I looked up to them, you know. And I thought, damn, maybe one day it would be cool to be in a faction with them. Maybe it would be cool to team with them. And that was my life for a quick sec, you know. So I think once Dan and Doris started taking me under their wing, and I was hanging around with like obviously Dan and Lycos and Connor Mills and Oku and everyone that I've looked up to and kind of watched as I've been on Ring Crew and stuff, it was like, okay, I'm doing something right now. And then another kind of point would be the first time that I was on a show with Osprey. Like that was the crazy thing to me. Obviously, he's someone that I've looked up to massively over the years, and to kind of be on the same show as him, and not only be on the same show as him, but like I feel like from that first weekend of the Rev Pro 10th anniversary, I feel like me and Speedball is talked about just as much, maybe if not more, as Will and Ricky is. You know, so to kind of have a standout match of that weekend on a show with someone of Will's caliber, I think that's definitely another moment where it kind of clicked. It was like, oh, okay, I'm definitely in the right place. I'm definitely on the right track. So let's see where this thing goes, man.
No, I love that. And you saying it just reminded me. I remember thinking it when you signed that TNA contract that night. I remember when we spoke and you, like you mentioned, you brought up the fact that match with Speedball was like your favorite match that year. And now you could have that match again, but like on national TV on TNA. Like,
yes, bro.
That's mad.
Yeah, and shout out to Speedball, man. Like when the news came out, he was one of the first people to message me. He was super excited for me, man. So I'm beyond excited to run that match back, man.
And you mentioned down there, just so I know, like, so we're clear with everyone as well. You mean like Driller, right?
Yeah, Stan Maloney. Yeah. Yes,
and again, a fantastic match you had with him at the Copper Box, right, in Rev Pro's biggest show. Right,
yes.
That basically like was the biggest indie show, like the biggest show that weekend that wasn't AEW.
Yes, exactly, bro. And like, again, it's so weird how things work out. And I've talked to Dan about this a lot. Like, everything just falls into place so perfectly. Like, of course, I would be opening Rev Pro with the guy that's had me under his wing for the past year. Of course, I would be main eventing Walker Dome with the guy that got me introduced there and that's been training me for the past 2 years, man. Like, it's so... I want to say it's weird, but it's not, because we work hard for these things and I visualize these things so much that I feel like it has to happen that way. You know what I mean?
I was going to say it's almost like a fate thing, right? It's almost like it's destined to happen.
100%, bro. 100%.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. You had a wild weekend as well. Like, we didn't talk about that enough, that all-in weekend. You had a wild weekend that weekend. Like, I remember the first night, the Friday night, the Riot Cabaret show, which I think... in terms of pure entertainment, like wrestling show entertainment, I think was my favourite show of that whole weekend. But like, I remember seeing you in that match with Robbie, and like, I sort of knew you were putting it on a bit, but there was that bit in like sort of like the story armor where you like tweaked your knee, and you were like you were like working on the knee and stuff. You know what I mean? Robbie was working on the knee, and I was like, shit, is he hurt? Like, shit, is he hurt for the whole weekend?
Bro, my knee was fucked. Honestly, my knee was fucked, bro. Yes, bro.
Because you played it off super well. I thought
if you watch it back, we did our fucking normal sequence, duck and dodge, da 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 da. I tried to head it, bro. My knee just.
I thought that. I mean? Yeah, I thought that, and I was like, shit, what happened to his knee? But then like you played it off, and then like the next night at the Copper Box, I thought you were like fire, and I was like, oh no, shit, it was just a work. He's fine.
Bro, I was lucky enough, like, shout out to Riot, man. Like, they had good medics in the back. I had fucking ice on my knee. I had the fucking deep heat on my knee the next day. You know what I mean? Knee brace, everything under the... That's what's good about the pleathers, right? Like, you can't see what I've got under them. So,
I do.
Yeah, bro, my knee was fucking wrecked on the Friday, at least, you know? Just from a head nip, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, that's mad. That's mad. Because I thought it as well. And, like, the guys I was sitting with were like, nah, he's working it. It's fine. And, like, trying to, like, calm me down. Because I was like, shit, he's hurt. And like then when I saw you the next night, that's mad because like I thought I spotted it, and then the next night I was like, no, they were right, he's fine because he's fucking on fire here at the Copper Box. So I was like, oh, it's no worries. But I didn't know it was that close a thing.
Yes, bro. Yes, it was for real.
So in terms of like, I'm just curious about that. Like, I don't want to get into like too much of a negative of it, but like, does that cross your mind when that happens in that match? Like in terms of looking ahead, like, shit, is this going to impact my whole weekend?
It was a very scary moment, again, just because of the weekend it fell on. Like, I knew I had the AEW stuff. I knew I had the Copper Box, which my mind was, like, really focused on. And I actually had the double that day. I wrestled at the Copper Box in the open, and I went and wrestled Haskins in the main.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Robert, you know? So I knew I had a heavy weekend, but I knew the people that I was with would keep me safe. You know, like Robbie, I've wrestled 1,000 times. Dan, I know super well. Haskins, I've wrestled quite a few times now. And obviously the AEW stuff was only an extra job, so I was kind of lucky on that part. But like, I remember the moment that I tweaked, I was like, fuck. My whole weekend like flashed before my eyes. Like, I'm having to pull out of this and this and this. But you know, shout out to Robbie, man, shout out to Dan. Everyone kept me safe that weekend. And I'm okay now, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, love it. Big up everyone. That's great. And it's awesome you were able to have that weekend. And like, again, I feel like actually we didn't touch on it that much, but like the all-in stuff, like that must have been cool. Not just having that moment at Wembley Stadium on like the biggest wrestling show that's ever been held in the UK, but also like to share it with so many other like BritWres talent that you've worked with for years.
Yes, to be there with like Darius and Oku and Amira and all the guys and girls that were there. It was such a cool moment, you know. And I remember as the main event was going on, bro. Darius was stood to the right of me, Oku was stood to the left, and Nick Wayne was just beyond him. And I remember, bro, at the end of last year, me and Nick were saying like, damn, we're really gonna be doing this like in a year's time. Obviously, he was already signed to AEW, and what's happened with me in October. like I feel like everything, like we were just saying, bro. I feel like everything that I've been saying, everything that I've been kind of manifesting, visualizing is coming to fruition. So it was a super cool moment to be able to share that with my friends, you know.
Yeah. When did you find out about that? Like, how far in advance did you find out about AEW that they wanted you on that?
That was a couple weeks, probably a bit long, maybe like a month or two in advance. Yeah, I got the email off Sean Dean, so shout out to Sean Dean.
Nice.
It was crazy. It was so crazy the moment I got that through.
Were you planning on going anyway, like 2 All In, just as a fan, as a punter?
Well, obviously I knew I was going to be there for the weekend, so I was probably going to head there anyway. But obviously I was blessed enough to get backstage and have that kind of special view in it all.
Yeah, I was going to say prime view, wasn't it? There's us in the seats like chumps. You got the best view.
Yeah, man.
No, love it, mate. Love it. And like, we're coming to the end of the chat now, but like, genuinely, like, again, don't want to embarrass you or anything, but like, honestly, congratulations for the year you've had. Like, it's been so cool to see all the stuff you've done, all the opportunities you've had, and now to see what you're going to be able to go forward and do. And like, it's just mad as a fan being able to be like, oh shit, I saw this guy in like the indies and now he's on national TV. Like, I mean, obviously you're still going to be on the indies, but like, that's just going to be a weird feeling for me as a fan, watching you on TV every week. That's going to be weird.
I appreciate that, bro. But, thank you so much.
No, congrats. And again, thanks so much for taking the time to chat to us about it. I love the story, and like, yeah, you just had a wild ride. I mean, I don't even know how you comprehend it, but it's been amazing. It's been amazing. We always end the podcast with a relatively new feature that we got here on the show, where our last guest leaves a question for our next guest.
Right.
And I'm not allowed to tell you who asked it, so you get the question completely without context.
Okay.
And we've had some weird ones. I'll tell you. Your one is kind of all right though. I think it's a relatively normal one compared to some of the ones we've had.
Yeah.
But your question that you've been left here is, if you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Okay. If I could be an animal, I'd be a monkey, bro. I would 100% be a monkey. Monkeys are cool as fuck.
Yeah. Any particular type?
I'd be like a chimpanzee or something for sure.
Yeah, love it. That would be awesome. They're always like fun as well. Just brilliant. Like,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, and that's Leon, right?
Bro, people don't. A chimpanzee could fuck you up, bro. Too. If you piss that motherfucker off.
Mate.
I remember Joe Rogan talking about it one time. Like, monkeys can like rip your fingers off and shit. Like, monkeys are crazy, bro.
Oh, they're wild, and like that's fine. Like that's a little Leon Slater, right? A little wild, a little like you don't know what's gonna happen next. You don't know what he's gonna do.
There you go. Exactly.
I love it. That actually reminded me. This isn't like the part of it, but it actually reminded me of another question that like someone else left, and I'm curious as to what you say of that, because you mentioned about like the viciousness of monkeys and stuff. Is that I can't remember who it was, but someone left a question that was like, what animal do you think you could like feasibly take in a fight?
No way, bro. That was going to be my question for the next person.
Was it? Shit. No,
bro, I've asked this question. No, it's cool. I've asked this question to so many people. Like, some people say like kangaroos and shit, and I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's mad.
My settings for the question is always in a fight to the death in the animal's natural habitat. What's the biggest animal you think you could defeat? And I always say a goat or a sheep, because you're not taking anything bigger than that, bro. Like a cow, you're not going to kill a cow. You're not going to kill a horse. You're not going to kill a kangaroo. Maybe an ostrich. You could probably have an ostrich if you get it in like kind of a sleeper hold on his big neck, I guess.
Yeah, you got to be tall for that though. You got to be tall for that.
Exactly. So even at that, my answer would always be a sheep or a goat.
I think that's smart. Like you say, people like, I think the person who asked this was like, I guarantee you someone will say kangaroo. And it's like, no, you can't. Like, you see pictures on like social media, don't you? Like someone punching a kangaroo. But like, kangaroos are hench. Like, they are massive. Like, if a kangaroo wanted to attack you, you would be gone. Like, there's no doubt.
Yes. It's true. There's
no doubt. Well, I'm sorry I ruined your question. Now we're gonna have to think of something else for.
Yes, I'll think of something else.
But you got a little time, because I'll ask you after we stop recording. But no, Leon Slater, that brings us to the end of the chat. Thank you so much for your time again. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. We got to make this a yearly thing, bro.
Absolutely. Well, you're in a select few that have been 2-time guests on the show. I think along with Oku and Amira and Big Wavy Roy Johnson as well. So you're in good company. You're in real good company. But on that note, actually, I think Oku, when we had him on the chat the second time, I asked him about whose gear he'd have, and I think he said yours. But that like he was worried that like he couldn't pull it off, because apparently, like, again, I don't know this because I don't wear them, you wear them, but he said apparently they're like super heavy.
Yes, especially the white ones I have, because that's like real leather.
Really?
like Shawn Michaels used to have the leather pants back in the day, but he had like the spandex like around the crotch.
Yeah.
But he had like a real leather pants. That's how my ones are, the white ones. The black ones are a little bit lighter, but still a lot heavier than tights and trunks.
How do you work in that? Like, your leg day in the gym must be insane if you can lift that. Like, how are you jumping that far over the top rope with that? Because he said he was like I could wear them, but I wouldn't be able to get off the ground.
I don't know, but I guess I just got springs in my heels, bro.
Mate, I love that. Well, no, Leon, thanks so much again for coming on. Again, as you know, when you had you on last time, we always end by giving our guests the final bit of promo time. And obviously, there's big things in store for you next year, having signed a contract with TNA. But if anyone catches you on an advert for TNA and wants to check you out on national TV in America or over here, or if you're back on the indies and they want to come and catch you at a show, why is Leon Slater going to be the person to come and see? Why is Leon Slater going to steal the show?
Because I've always been that guy, bro. Like, not to be arrogant or anything, but I'm going to be arrogant for a quick sec. Because ever since I burst out on the scene, everybody said I'm the next one. I've heard I'm the next one from everybody around me since I was a little boy, you know? And I'm proving these people right. I'm proving myself right. I'm putting in the work and I'm putting out results. So Leon Slater's a one to watch, bro. I'm not a one to watch. I'm the one to watch. Get that in a quote.
Love that. I love that. And that's a brilliant place to end. I'm curious now, because I'm upset that was the last question, because I'm curious now as to, like, how you feel when people say that. You say people say that, and, like, again, because everyone says that to you. But, like, how do you feel when people say to you, like, that you're, like, the next guy, the next big thing? Like, how does that feel coming from other people? It's
cool, man. It's a cool feeling, but it's not like, again, at the risk of sounding a little bit arrogant here, like, I already know that, you know, like, I already feel that way about myself. So it's cool. It's like a confirmation to hear it from people that are steps above me in the wrestling world, you know, and to hear it from my peers around me. And it's something I don't take for granted. It's something I do really appreciate. No, I love that. Well, brilliant. Leon, it's been amazing having you on the show. Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.